the Public Relations Director for the Burke County Sheriff's Office, and I'm here with two incredible workers that I have here today. I'll let them introduce themselves, and we'll get started.
I'm Sergeant Lexi Johnson over the Community Outreach Division.
I am Captain Randall Norman, the Field Operations Special Operations Division Commander.
Okay. The first thing that we're going to talk about, this week is National Police Week, and we're just going to get into it. Lexi, can you tell me, how long you've been in law enforcement and why you got into law enforcement?
This year is my 13th year. I became a deputy because my grandfather worked for the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. I was always intrigued with it. When I was little, riding in his patrol car, or he started the DARE program in Richmond County, so he'd come to my class and teach everybody about drugs and safety, and I just knew that I wanted to be like him. So I joined the Richmond County Sheriff's Office and worked there for a short spell, and then found my way down here in Burke County, which I love. I was born and raised here as well, and I love everything about Burke County. I like what we stand for, and I found my way from patrol now to community outreach, so I'm able to do the same things my grandfather did, so that means a lot to me.
And how does that make you feel, being able to be in community services and kind of carry on that legacy that your grandfather started?
I like it. We have family dinners, and the first thing he asked me is, what do you have going on, And I try to tell him, obviously, times have changed. He did 41 years there and retired in 2006, so, of course, times have changed. The events, the community has changed in a whole. We rely on the community so much, to have that relationship so that they'll call us if they need us. I know now that we're giving kids more opportunities than, of course, they had, many years ago. The program has even changed. They're not really offering DARE as much anymore now as CHAMPS. The curriculum, I think, has changed a little bit more to let them know about, like, boating safety and ATV safety, which I think applies to Burke County because most kids here are riding on a four-wheeler or going to the river or going to the lake. So I do like that they've kind of geared that toward what works for Burke County.
I've always wanted to be a police officer, like always. I've got a childhood friend, Daphne, that will tell you that I'm the only person that she knows from childhood that always said, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be a police officer, or just grew up to be whatever it is that they said they wanted to be. I was always intrigued with law enforcement officers. I was always wanted to know what was going on, watching all of these cop shows and stuff like that as a kid. And then I started to get to know these officers, so I actually understood what it meant to be a police officer or a deputy sheriff in the community, and not to take it in a negative context by any means. It was just a different environment. It was very different. I grew up with my mom being a educator, my dad being a career firefighter, retiring as a lieutenant. So I had a good mix of friends and from all different walks of life, but I think there were still some pieces of being an African-American male that I was kind of missing. So I kind of wanted to go and live, and so I moved to Atlanta. So I figured it out really quickly, and just the dynamics of working in different communities. I can come back and share stories. I can see different situations and different problems. Some of the guys and girls here, and Lexi will tell you, sometimes we come to work and they're like, oh, we've been busy. It's like, well, how many calls did you have? It's like, oh, yeah, well, I had 5 all day, and, or I had this amount. And I'm like, that's not even busy. Working in Atlanta and certainly working in Richmond County, you go to work and you had calls holding already. That calls were holding for a while, and, they're just waiting to send cars to you as soon as they get one available. So I've thoroughly enjoyed being able to help others. I thrive off of it. I really don't need anything in return. I just get excited from doing it. It brings me great pleasure to be able to help others and to put somebody else in a better position than where they were today or than where they were yesterday. And if I have the ability to do it, why not? As my mom would say, why not you? So.
And how was that, telling your parents that you were going to go into law enforcement, your father being a firefighter? So how was that conversation?
That's always been a thing. My dad, so he said, there's really no proof, but he said that he started out, I guess back in the day they called them turnkeys. So I guess he worked at the detention center in Augusta like years and years and years ago. For whatever reason, I guess he decided that he was driving by the fire station, and he said that the guys, it was cold outside, and they were inside, and they didn't look like they were busy at all. They just looked like they were relaxing. So he was like, let me try something different. So with that being said, that's what he said was his reasoning for becoming a firefighter, or it started him onto that path. But I'm sure there's other reasons because he's just like me. He doesn't mind helping anybody. The conversation was easy. My mom actually, when I went to the academy, went pre-service. So I did my first year at Southern and had 2 days into my summer break. And on day 3, I was starting the academy in Athens. So it was a very easy conversation. I've always been supported. My mom went into her retirement to help me get through the academy. I stayed in a hotel for 10 weeks in Athens. And so they've always supported me. They've always been cautious. They've always been nervous about the things that we encounter on a daily basis. But I've always certainly had the support of my parents, my family, everybody. But I think at the end of the day, whether you lose someone in the profession that's extremely close to you, as if y'all are beat partners or work within the same agency, or if you work in different agencies and maybe even in different states, I think the feeling is still the same. And so someone's lost a child, someone's lost a parent, someone's lost a friend, a mentor. It's different. And so over the years, I've gone to several funerals for fallen officers. And you don't leave out of there with dry eyes because it really sets in and it hits home and you just realize like, man, this guy or this girl and we all do the exact same things every day. We put this uniform on, we come to work. I leave my house thinking, what am I going to do when I get off tonight? Making plans for the evening, making plans for the weekend and stuff like that, not knowing that today might be that day where I am putting my life on the line. But don't get me wrong, though. I'll do it, and I've done it, and will continue to do it. And I work with a hell of a group of men and women every day that are committed for that same goal. So when I come to work, I feel like I know I got my team with me. If by chance something arises to where I need the help and the support, it's there.
I'd say kind of spinoff is the job, you have to be selfless. You cannot be selfish in this because the whole aspect of the job is you leave the house, you're trying to help those in need. And unfortunately, that's just not untreaded waters. That's territory that you already know that you're going to have to deal with. That you're right, you may kiss your loved ones goodbye, and that may be the last time that you see them. You just don't know what you're going to encounter. You don't know what kind of day somebody is having, and it may be that they take some people out, whether that's civilians or us. You just don't know maybe what exactly they're going through at the time. But I will say that, like he says, we are a family and we're close. You work together side by side 12 hours. You know their families. You know what they like to eat. These are, you're taking your lunch break with these people. They're getting married. These people are having babies. And you're a part of all their walks of life, And you spend all this time with them. And you're right, for you to get a phone call that they've been taken from you, I mean, it's a pain that you don't want anybody to ever have to fathom. But you're already, in the trenches with their families because you feel what they feel. You spend just as much time with them as their families do. I know one in specific was JD in Richmond County. You see these people the day before, and then they're taken from you, and then you just like, what is life after this, Because yes, they do wear a uniform, but they're still your friend, like you say. Yeah. And then you realize, like, as you scroll through social media, that somebody had the same incident happen to them as JD did, or as Cecil, or anybody else that we've lost. And you're right, that pain doesn't subside. You're still like, I know how that agency feels because I feel that right now. Our friends are gone. We don't get to talk to them, and they were taken so fast, And then you have all these emotions. You're angry, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're trying to figure it out, and you can't. And you just hope that the Lord will just get you through it. You take it one day at a time, and you lean on your family and just say, what do we got to do to get through this? But it don't get any easier, I mean,
it really feels like it's a blood relative that something has happened to. Whew, we work. We do a lot.
I was just going to say, you got to bridge the gap. You need if you had a good experience with us, whether you've been pulled over or we handled a call for you, we need you to go back and tell your families. And I'm okay. Yes, I'm glad that the sheriff made me a sergeant. I'm very grateful. Thank you if you're listening. I'm grateful for that, but I'm still Lexi, and everybody knows that. So I want you to be able to say, Lexi came to my house today. She did this, this, and this. She helped me. If you don't spread the word that you had a positive experience, we're going to continue to combat it. So we need people, when they do have a good experience, to spread the word to say, hey, they're not all like that. I know I might have had this one incident when it wasn't good, but he's good or she's good, or they changed my tire, they gave me gas. Because there's a lot of times, too, we're not just doing the law enforcement job. You know, hey, my car's out of gas. You have deputies pulling money out of their own pocket to fill their cars up with gas. Hey, we don't have anywhere to stay tonight. They're putting them up in hotel rooms. You need to say they do more than just arrest people, because we do. And so community engagement is the biggest way. You know, we're having these events. We're trying to, you know, rub elbows with folks to let you know, like, we do wear this, but we're still people, you know. Come to us if you have we want them to come to us if they have a problem, because that's what we do. But come to us even when there's not one, you know. Come visit us. Come see us at the sheriff's office, you know. Or come out to the events and tell people, like, this is who I met. This is who I talked to. She helped me, or he helped me through a crisis, and it wasn't all that bad.
Oh, and if it's good, we want to hear about it. If it's bad, we still want to hear about it, because we got to correct that. We have to fix those things. And if we don't know about it, then we can't fix it. So in our case, or even across America, it's about bridging the gap. It's fostering those relationships to where the community is comfortable enough to have law enforcement officers in and amongst their communities protecting and serving. You know, we've had a great relationship, I think, with the community here in Burke County. We've got a variety of people here. You know, with Plant Vogel being here, you've got a number of people that are here. Sometimes they have their families here with them. So we get a chance to encounter a number of people, especially with the events that we host here at the agency every year. Sheriff Williams is a big proponent of community engagement, and that's what we do. He often tells us that, you know, he wants to be able to share and provide those opportunities and experiences for people in the community, especially our youth, those opportunities that they more than likely won't ever get a chance to have, you know, just because of a number of things that they may have stacked against them. And so if we're in a position to being able to do it, why not? You know, why not be able to go out there and do those things? People don't call the police when they're having a great day. Most of the time, it's always the person is having the worst day of their lives. And so when we respond and when we come out there, absolutely, we have a job to do. We have a job to ensure that you're safe, you're secure. We have a job to enforce the laws. But we also have that duty to protect and serve.
And that's kind of one of the things that we want to, you know, show Burke County that, you know, that you guys are not just law enforcement, not just deputies, that you're humans.
Right.
And
right.
some people, you know, may forget that.
That's right.
I
It's a
love
piece
that.
of metal. I mean, it goes on, it goes off as with anything else, but I'm no different than you. Lexi is no different than you. We can go outside, we can get into trouble, we can do the exact same things, and unfortunately, sometimes people have taken a different path than others, but it could have easily have been us. And so, you know, there's always opportunities for second chances, sometimes three or more chances. You know, sometimes you have to have that. But in a grand scheme of things, you know, we just want to build those relationships to where, like she said, somebody can get out of the car, hey, Lexi, or hey, Randall, or whatever it may be, or whomever that they see, and they realize, like, I'm not afraid of them because I know that they're here to help. Now, they may address an issue or a situation that's going astray, but they're here to help. They're not going to hurt or harm me, and I'm not going to try to hurt or harm them either.